magical views, junk food, things that are universally loved by road cyclists. But is there such thing as too much of a good thing? Apparently I must have fallen over and hit my head and I've got amnesia from my last 300km ride. And it's a long weekend, it's Australia Day, so I thought, why not ride another 300km ride? In my head, this was going to be so simple and easy. I've already done a 300km ride before, I know what to expect. But every adventure has its challenges, not all of them are physical, and sometimes life just wants to throw you a curveball.
Oh, Jesus!
But every big adventure starts with an early morning, so let's go back to the start. It is early. It is very, very early. And an early start can only mean one thing. We're doing another 300k ride. We're going to do a completely different route this time. We're going to be going to the south of Sydney. We're going to ride all the way to Wollongong, which is the next city south of Sydney. And then we're going to go even a little bit further down to Kiama, which is like, I guess the next like town over. So it's about 150 kilometers to Kiama, 150 kilometers back. It's pretty much one big out and back. And the nice thing is we're going to be riding along the coast the whole way. So it should be really nice and scenic. Hopefully we get some nice coastal weather, so it'll be a bit cooler. And yeah, let's hope for no headwind. Let's hope for just tailwind the whole way, you know? Tailwind the whole way will be nice. Let's show you what I'm going to wear today, because this just arrived. This is the Jayco Lula kit, but just the supporter edition. Like, it doesn't have all their branding and stuff on it, which is cool. Stoked to wear this. Just got it yesterday, and I've been seeing it at Tour Down Under. It looks freaking awesome. So I never thought I'd be someone who wears a team kit or replica team kit for this matter, but let's do it. Donskis, gels, lolly snakes, a little bit of drink mix. That's all you need. Let's get going. See ya. So the ride today is going to start and end at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. One thing that I really think is important for big rides is like a nice sense of completion. I just like having a sense of like accomplishment when you finish. That's why I'm like, it's always nice to finish at home or at crossing like the Harbour Bridge, for example, where you have like an awesome landmark. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm riding to the Harbour Bridge. So I've got maybe about 3 or 4k to do before the actual ride. And that's why I'll be meeting the others. Hello. Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
The jersey.
Mate, I got it. Pretty simple. Everyone knows the course, I think. It's just down to Kiama and back. And then I hope you all have the...
It sounds simple.
And then, so rather unceremoniously, our ride is going to start and end with us carrying our bikes. And you can even see right now they're actually building the new ramp. So maybe this time next year, that's ambitious. This time next year, maybe you won't have to carry the bikes. That'll be nice. All right, the grand adventure begins. The
duality of people going through the city at 4:30 in the morning. On one hand, we had all the people who had spent their night partying and reveling and were just leaving the club. And then on the other hand, there was us, riding through the city to start our 300-kilometer ride. And both of us probably judging each other's life choices. Funnily enough, we weren't the only cyclists on the road. There was quite a few people trying to get home on Lime bikes as well. We took full advantage of the quiet roads and we made short work of getting through the city, past the airport and down Southern Cross Drive. Our first destination was going to be Kurnell. This is a nice out and back segment with a beautiful lookout and we're hoping to catch the sunrise.
Random breath test.
Oh, and we also picked up some more reinforcements along the way.
What are you eating, mate? So, this is Cape Solander, and it's known for a whale watching spot and also these beautiful sandstone formations. When I did landscape photography, I'd come here and take some photos. I'll pop some up on the screen now. It faces east, so you always get a nice sunrise, and you look at the Pacific Ocean. And then because of the sandstone interaction with the sea, I guess the wind and everything, there's these awesome like patterns on the rock. So you can't see it from here, but maybe I'll try and show you. There's like a wave, almost wave formation on the rocks. Have a look at this. Whoa, hey, can you see the sun coming up over the horizon?
Watching the sun come up over the horizon was a pretty cool moment, and I'm glad that we stood around at the rest stop for a bit longer to enjoy it.
All right, I'm not gonna bore you guys with like 6 minutes of sunrise moving. Actually, before we go, I'm gonna eat one of these bad boys. Get that Donski Gonski. Say coffee.
It's one thing you're going to pick up at the servo. $1 coffee.
All right, I think all I need from the servo is more water, but I am curious what $1 coffee tastes like, or whatever like the cheapo coffee they have at the servo is. So I will risk it. Maybe without milk though.
5 minutes later.
What monkey business is going on here, boys? What is this? All right, for some context, we're 80k in. We've completely overcooked it. We've bought like, I think between our group, we bought over 10 liters of water. It's a bit unnecessary. It's gonna be sacrilegious, but I reckon like any sugary drink with coffee tastes good. Whatever this hazelnut latte is. Next stop, Wollongong.
Gong.
Give us a gong. Ooh, gong. All right, let's get moving. I said 10 minutes and we've been here like half an hour.
Oh, override.
Alright, I will admit it, we overindulged a little bit on that first rest stop, but on a 300-kilometer ride, you do need to take your breaks. Yes, ideally they're a little bit shorter, but you also need to work hard on your easy kilometers. And this ride to Wollongong was going to be the easiest Ks of the day. We're in the Royal National Park now, so it's open roads, not many cars and no traffic lights. Working together, we made very short work of this segment of the ride. A couple of our friends were going to turn around at Sublime Point, so they pretty much towed us all the way there. And with our bellies full of lollies, donskis and hazelnut flavoured coffee from the servo, we were going to keep powering along.
There's 100k in the bag. 100k down. 2 more to go. 1/3 of the way.
I'm not gonna lie, I was completely lulled into a false sense of security. We'd done 100 kilometers at over 30 kilometers an hour average. It was so quick and easy. And in my head, I just thought the rest of the ride was gonna be like that. For the last 20 or 30 kilometers, we'd actually been gradually climbing uphill, and we were about to lose all that elevation we worked for in one single short descent known as Bulleye. I haven't done this descent for a couple of years, but I do remember it's got a little bit of a sketchy left-hand corner, so I warned everyone about that beforehand. And getting to the bottom of the hill officially marked us entering the outskirts of Wollongong. The sound of the ocean, seagulls, we'd made it to the coast and to Wollongong. Something I should have learned though from my 200-kilometer ride around Sydney using bike paths only is that bike paths are actually quite slow, and especially so on a public holiday. Obviously we didn't want to disrupt or hurt anyone, so we made sure that we rode quite slowly, but it also meant that we were adding quite a bit of time to our travelling. With that being said, after being on the road for over 100 kilometers, we're quite grateful for a bit of a change in pace and a change of scenery. So we took these gentle paths all the way into the centre of Wollongong.
Participants home, some of them still with goals in hand.
Breakfast plans were thwarted by a triathlon, but we will make our way over to the famous Wollongong Lighthouse right now, and we're just doing a little loop around the headland, and here's the lighthouse right here. And maybe we should get a group photo in front of it. What do you reckon? Yeah. All right, group photo in front of the lighthouse.
Some of you who have done the Gong might be familiar with some of the roads that we've taken so far. And for me, getting to Wollongong was also quite a familiar sight. I've ridden here on a couple of occasions. But everything from here to Kiama was new territory for me. It's about 25-30 kilometers to get there, and we're going to ride on some completely new roads. Just to the south of Wollongong, we rode through the industrial area there of the port. From what I could see, the port mainly exports coal and steel and imports cars as well as other machinery. Just as getting down to the coast and seeing the beaches and hearing the seagulls marked the start of entering Wollongong, seeing all this industrial plant and buildings marks the next part of our journey down to Kiama. I think we were quite lucky that it was a long weekend and also a Sunday. Because the port was actually completely empty, we rode on these massive wide open roads with no issues. but I could imagine if it was a weekday and it was business as usual, there'd definitely be some haulage trucks going around. Also, this must be one of the nicest industrial areas to work at because there's a beach right on their doorstep. This next section wasn't particularly nice after the port, as we had to ride on one of the main roads. With that being said though, it was flat and quite fast, and before we knew it, we reached the next suburb over, which is Bombo. From here, some of my friends had told me about some back paths that we could take, and this ended up being one of my favourite parts of the ride.
This is bougie as hell. Golf courses on either side. Oh man. Clear. There we go. It's Bombo train station right over there to my left. And we have to ride on the cycleway here for sure because this bit coming up is called the Kiama Bend. And it's a very narrow road and cars go very fast. So, thank you Sharon and Owen for your suggestions on the route, because otherwise we'd be on the road right now probably getting run over by a car. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. Are you guys ready? Woo! This crossing is so unbelievably shallow. The water has just flooded over it right here. And I went through first because I'm the bravest, obviously. But my feet are dry. I just kept my feet level and I just went through, no worries. I think the others are trying to get a run up or something. I don't know. Here we go, they're coming. Very good. Come on, Nicole. Yeah. Oh, you just pedaled through it. No, I was already wet. Okay. You could do it. You could do it. What, on the side? That is so much more fraught with danger.
I can't do it.
With slightly damp feet and very hungry stomachs, we had made it to our turnaround point of Kiama. Kiama is a beautiful coastal town with rolling green hills, some spectacular beaches, and also a great place to start a ride if you want to do lots of elevation. Some of the biggest climbs in the state are near here, ones such as Macquarie Pass, Jamberoo, and Saddleback Mountain. But that wasn't really on our mind. What was on our mind was that we were really hungry, we were ready for some savoury food, and we had a massive task ahead of us to get back to Sydney from here.
Right, we've stopped at some Safa Cafe in Kiama, and as always happens on these long rides, the drink I make gets more and more cursed. So it started off as lemonade, like lemon cordial, and then I added Powerade, and there's like half of it left of that concoction. And I'm gonna add drink mix to that, and it just becomes like a witch's potion. Curse the drink mix. What are we gonna add to it? Nah, lemon's too vanilla. You gotta add something real. There we go. Real raspberries. Let's add that to the mix.
I'm ready to look. What do you get? You know it's only 200 from the start.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful this day is? The sun's out, the flowers are out, we've got this little train going in the background. Beautiful sunny day, crispy cold Coca-Cola, and a bacon and egg roll to top it off. And come on, you have to admit, 160 kilometers, we'd earned a little bit of a break. We eagerly ate our food, discussed with each other what the ride had been like to date, and I think the general consensus was everyone was pretty happy. And with the ride being generally quite easy to get down here, I think the thinking was, at least for myself, that the way back wouldn't be too bad either. And that's pretty much where the wheels fell off. So let's start with the good news. Good news number one, we managed to find a detour around that underpass under the bridge, so our feet didn't get wet. Good news number two, we got the ride back through my favourite part of the ride, which is that cycle path near Bombo. And then the cycling gods decided to throw us some hurdles.
First mechanical of the trip. I've got a flat tire, slow leak, so we're gonna fix it now.
How fast can Josh Kwan change a tube?
I've actually done away with this.
Oh, the pressure's on now.
Do you want to film the whole thing?
No.
Okay.
Disaster has struck. When I was fixing my flat tire, the ride ended, and I've had to start a new activity. So I'm gonna have to stitch them together. I've never done that before. Oh, I've seen people do it. You can
program.
You can stitch it together, right? Yeah. Ah dear, that's embarrassing. People are gonna think I cheated.
Make it the camera.
Check, what we're wrong. I'll see you next time.
When it rains, it pours, and it was coming down thick and fast on me. Not even 10 minutes after I changed that previous tube, I got another puncture. And don't worry guys, I checked the inside of my tire to make sure there's no glass or something poking through. The second tube just literally exploded. On top of that, all my stats had reset to 0, so instead of seeing 180 kilometers in the ride done, I was looking at a big fat 0 on my screen. And I know it doesn't seem like much, but that was actually pretty disheartening and mentally tilting. And worst of all, we were about to lose a whole bunch of our firepower as well. A couple of people had a bit of a time constraint, so they ended up getting on the train and catching it back to Sydney, leaving just myself, Nicole and Angus, a trio. We quickly made our way through the most direct path through Wollongong, and we came to the realization that we had a lot of climbing to do in the next 10 kilometers. We're on beautiful coastline, but that also meant we were down at sea level, and we need to get all the way back up to the top of the climbs. By this point, it was afternoon, it was hot, people were frustrated, and this was definitely the most taxing part of the ride.
Cooked.
We're doing min-maxing water strategies right now. We're gonna leave with half empty bottles, so at the top of the climb at Stanwell we can fill up. We need every little advantage right now. We're 210k in, people are very tired, and we've got 2 huge climbs ahead of us. Right now, I'm here at the beach, we're at ocean level, and we need to get up to there, which I understand looks insignificant in the action camera. But I'm telling you right now, that is so high up. That's maybe 200 meters above sea level, so we've got a chunker of a climb to go. We made it to Seacliff Bridge. Seacliff Bridge is beautiful.
This last part of the ride was a struggle, I am not gonna lie. Usually I try and put a positive or more energetic spin on things, but honestly this was mentally and physically so draining. You can see the gradient of this climb we're going up, it was relentless. And while it's all fun and good to bring a GoPro along and film your rides, sometimes when people are in the hurt box it's not very nice to put a camera in their face, so we'll just leave it at that. There's a massive mentality shift when you get tired on these really long rides. When you're feeling energetic and good, you're thinking about all the kilometers you've done and the achievement of that. But when you're tired, you're just thinking about how many kilometers there are left to go. We slowly crawled our way up the first climb up Bold Hill to the lookout. And we were so exhausted we just lay on the side of the road for a good 20 minutes. Thankfully, there was a little cafe nearby and I went there and I got us some ice creams, which helped cool us down a bit and felt really good. But we were faced with the harsh reality that we still had another climb to go, and after that we had about 50 or 60 kilometers left. But we weren't broken yet and we were determined to finish this 300 kilometer ride one pedal stroke at a time. Now guys, I got something to admit to you. I've been editing this video on and off for like 2 weeks now. I keep getting momentum, losing momentum, and I'm just like creatively drained on how to finish off this video. I can't believe it, but it's almost 30 minutes long, and I thank you very much if you've had the attention span to hang on till now, and apologise for not being a bit more succinct. But if you're from Sydney, you're watching this ride, you'll no doubt be familiar with what the rest of the ride is going to be like. We're going to head back from Waterfall into the city, and that's a pretty regular route for a lot of people. So let's speed run this, clean it up, and so I can upload this video and just get it out there.
Oh, we have made it back to Sutherland, thank goodness. And look, an oasis in the desert. So I realised I'm quite tired and hungry, which means I'm gonna buy some f***ed up shit to eat now. That's steak in there, yes. Ski roll with cheese. Cream ski roll. So good. Oh, so good. The cheese in the sausage. Genius. Last hill of the day. Finally in home territory. We're on the Cooks River cycle path. Oh, so tired. Hey. Yeah, 25k to go. Home sweet home to Centennial Park. So unfortunately we're missing about 6k, so we need to do 2 laps to make up for it, and then we can go home. Oh, tired. Home sweet home, Centennial Park. Oh Jesus! Whoa, did you see that? What the? Did you see that? That bird like tried to attack me. Ugh. Alright, this is it. This is the grand finale, the last kilometre of the ride. Going over the harbour bridge. Very nice way to finish the ride. You guys have fun? There again.
This ride was a classic example of type 2 fun. Something that's a bit uncomfortable and hurts a bit in the moment, but afterwards you look back at it fondly and with a sense of achievement. It was great to once again take this opportunity to push myself further, to try something completely new and go places that I've never been before. and I'm really glad that I got to experience this one with my friends and also get a long training ride in for 3 peaks.
About to run out of storage, so very well timed. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.